When local growers put great food on Tennessee tables, that's living green. Tonight on Live Green Tennessee, we visit the Allenbrooke Farm in Spring Hill, Tennessee, and then we get an update about water supply challenges in Tennessee. Later in the show, join me in the kitchen where I'll demonstrate how to utilize those winter greens. All this and more coming up next on Live Green Tennessee.
This program is brought to you in part by...
Behind every Pick Tennessee Products logo is a Tennessee farmer who brings you fresh, local food grown with the kind of pride that gets handed down through generations. From now through fall, you can find Tennessee fruits and vegetables on farms and at farmers markets near you. Find your Tennessee farmers at picktnproducts.org.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the new Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcast in Tennessee.
The Tennessee Channel, Saturdays 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern and Sundays 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on your public television station.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture, providing leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, and related issues based on sound public policy and efficient management.
Hello, I'm Melinda Kiefer, and I'm proud to bring you stories from across our great state on Live Green Tennessee. Allenbrooke Farms is the latest Williamson County farm to join the local farmers community and start a community-supported agriculture share. They are offering organically grown vegetables, fruits, and flowers to a limited number of CSA members from their farm, as well as individual items at their farm stand, the Franklin Farmers Market, and a CSA pickup site in West Haven. WCTE's Desiree Duncan takes us to this Middle Tennessee farm.
You know, I grew up thinking that you can't really make much money farming, but she kind of figured it out and kept like leaving little sheets of printouts for me to read. And I finally got around to reading them, and I was like, well, that's a pretty good idea.
This time of year, I'm working with our customers, what I call our Farmily, a lot, getting everybody signed up. This is like the peak time of year when people sign up for CSAs. I know it's strange to think about, you know, people normally don't think about what they're going to eat from May through October this time of year, but this is a time of year, you know, it's a CSA, stands for Community Supported Agriculture, when the farmers are spending out all their money to prepare the land and the farm and to, you know, get all the seeds started and everything. This is when the work happens, so this is when the farmer needs that support, and so this is when our customers sign up.
And they come here 2 days a week, and we go out that morning and harvest everything, and they show up about 4 o'clock, and we'll have everything that we've harvested that day out. And we hand them a basket, that's their size basket that they paid for, and we let them pick out whatever they want, and they can take however much of whatever we have as long as it fits into their basket. And we do that a little bit different. Most CSAs kind of pack everybody's baskets for them, but we just let them pick out what they want because it's only us two, and it's a little bit less work for us to do it that way. Plus, we found that they like it because, you know,
people are happy.
Yeah, they know if they don't want any tomatoes that week, or if they don't want squash, or if they hate okra, or if they love green beans and they only want green beans because they want to pack some up for the winter. So we let them do that, and it's basically as fresh as you can get it because, I mean, we just harvest. Some things have only been out of the ground, you know, a couple hours. And then we have a pickup at the Franklin Farmers Market, and we take everything there, and they come there and pick it up, and we sell what extra we have if we feel like it, or
if we have extra.
Yeah, if we're a little low on something, we won't sell any of it so our customers can have it because, you know, they've invested in us, so we feel like
they come first.
Yeah, they come first.
And we have you know, several different kinds of animals. We do pastured pork, and I call them my tipsy pigs. They have about 50 acres to run free on, and the reason I call them our tipsy pigs is we have a friend who owns a whiskey distillery in Nashville, and we get his spent mash that's just like pure awesome protein for the pigs, and they love it. And so we give them that, and then of course they can root around and eat whatever they want and whatever they can find out in the pastures. And then we have about 100 laying hens, and they have the same 50 acres. They run free. They all hang out with the pigs.
Yeah, we produce a little bit of grass-fed, grass-finished beef that have never had any grain, so they're real high in omega-3s and really lean and have lots of good protein. So we sell a little bit of that to our customers, which is extra. It's not included with the CSA, so you know, if they want some ground beef or some steaks or something, they'll come out here and get it from us. And then we have eggs also. We do, you know, quite a few dozen eggs every week. And the pork, we do the same. We, you know, we have sausage. A lot of people buy sausage in the winter time. It's not much of a summer thing. But Bear Creek Farms is down the road from us, and they do some of the most wonderful beef on the planet, and that's their that's all they do is beef and pork. And they have a USDA certified processing facility in Chapel Hill, and they do a beautiful job with everything, and they dry age it, and they're really, really nice people. So we always take our beeves and our porks to them, and they do it for us. And you know, they charge us a little bit, but it's definitely a fair price. Yeah, the way we work the farm is the farm should provide everything for itself to live off of. You know, the cows, the land provides the grass for the cows that live on, and while they're eating and pasturing, they're fertilizing the grass at the same time. And then when we're cutting hay off of that grass, we're feeding it to them, and they're standing around and they're eating the grass from the farm, which is producing the fertility to go back into the gardens, which the food that the gardens create is, you know, feeding everybody, and it's also feeding the animals.
Somebody said to me the other day, you know, you don't run that farm runs you. And that's true as a farmer. There's there's that line where you can definitely let the farm run you and you don't have much time. But for the most part, we run the farm, and we do have a, you know, happy, simple life, and we really just want to keep it that way. We're not looking to be, you know, the biggest in town. We just want happy customers, and we want a manageable life.
And she really takes a lot of time with each customer that calls and explains everything to them and answers all the questions she can. Lots of people like to come out here and look at it, and so she'll take them around the farm, or we'll take them around the farm and just answer any kind of questions, let them see everything that we're doing. She's really good with customer relations and remembering everybody's names and just kind of keeping them happy.
I think it's definitely helped me, having that background, and knowing, you know, how to reach people. We do a lot of social media too. That's helped us a lot. That's another, you know, word of mouth network that's really been good for us. I send out emails too. We have a really good email database that we've been building for several years. We send several thousand emails out and just keep people updated on what's happening on the farm. A lot of people in America right now, especially in our community here, are making that transition to, you know, more organic lifestyle and a real food lifestyle. And what I think is so important is just know your farmer and know where your food comes from. And then all of those buzzwords aren't going to get in your way. You're not going to be reading the backs of labels. You're not going to be trying to figure out what's in your food, because you know what's in it, because you know your farmer and you know how they farm. And that goes back to what Daniel was saying earlier. And I really try to take as much time with people as I can. You know, we're not a petting zoo or, you know, really like a tourist destination, but we are a working farm. And if people are going to spend their hard-earned money to support us, I think it's important that they know how we do things, and that, you know, they know where their food comes from.
I think if more people switch to that, our country in general would be a healthier place and a happier place to be. So hopefully we can provide a little bit of that for some people, and hopefully that'll kind of catch on and grow.
Everyone in Tennessee relies on clean water. As industries and populations change in the 21st century, our water supply faces new challenges. In East Tennessee, several groups work to detect dangers and maintain the water quality that people rely on. East Tennessee's Chris Smith brings us this update on water in Tennessee.
Clean water is what we need to live. I often tell people you could probably live without a light bulb, but you really can only go a couple of days without water.
We're very blessed with incredible aquatic resources, fresh water, some unparalleled across the country.
We're very fortunate in the state that we have a lot of water here.
We have an obligation as stewards of our planet to conserve our natural resources for future generations. That's a must. Clean water is a major economic engine, not only here in East Tennessee, but throughout the state and the country. The springheads, one you see behind me here at Fountain City Lake, was an attraction for people to get away from downtown. There was a school built, there were homes built in the area, and a rail line system came out of downtown up to this as really a vacation destination, based in great part because of the clean water, the fountain heads, the spring heads that we have in Fountain City. Stormwater is the key right now.
Stormwater runs off of all these built areas into the storm system, which is like a sluice right to our creeks.
Our source water is the Tennessee River, and we draw about 35 million gallons of water from the river each day. That's treated at our Mark B. Whitaker water plant. An important part of what we do is ensuring public health. We have 77,000 customers, but we actually serve a population in the Knoxville area of a little over 200,000. No one should ever assume that stream water is safe to drink. It requires adequate treatment and testing to make sure that it meets all of the standards that are applicable to drinking water. In fact, there are a lot of things in water, even though it may look clean, that we can't see with our naked eye.
People don't realize that pollution happens every day. I think we think of pollution as that big event, BP, Kingston, but they don't realize that companies are given permission to pollute by the state. They have a permit that says you can discharge this much, but no more. And so every day there is pollution going on. And people think, well, you know, the water is clean until a big event happens. Well, in some cases we're finding our water is really not clean.
That's really one of the reasons that we test water as extensively as we do. We treat the water at our Mark B. Whitaker plant through filtration. It's a conventional filtration plant. It goes through a series of steps. When it comes in, it's screened, and it's a disinfectant called chlorine dioxide is applied to it to kill bacteria, germs, viruses, other types of substances that could cause disease. From that point, the water leaves and it goes to a step where we remove more solids. It's called coagulation and sedimentation. We add a coagulant that allows the smaller particles to bind together and they settle out in tanks. Again, the whole purpose in that is to remove solids from the water. And then the water from that point also goes through a filtration step where it removes the rest of the contaminants by trapping it with the media that's in large filters that we use at our plant, and then disinfect it again before we send it out to our customers in our distribution system. And that's important also because we have about 1,500 miles of pipes in our system, and U.S. regulations actually require that we maintain a level of disinfectant to protect public health. It must meet all of the EPA, federal and state drinking water standards. All of our water meets those standards on a daily basis.
The limits are set in parts per billion or parts per trillion. When you're looking at that level of contaminant, you have to have some fairly sophisticated equipment to see that low. In fact, a part per billion is like looking for a grain of sand in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
When the Clean Water Act was passed, rivers were catching on fire. The Cuyahoga River had caught on fire many times, but the last straw was when it burnt down a railroad bridge. So it was on the front page of newspapers. When your water catches fire, it's a big deal. When the act was reauthorized and passed in the 70s, agriculture was exempt. And now we're finding that agriculture is not just a mom and pop affair, it is a huge industry. And the pollution caused by some of these confined animal feeding operations is as much as a city. The waste is the equivalent of a city. And it's not very well regulated, and there have been many accidents of waste being discharged into rivers.
Our department ensures the water quality that's served to our customers, our drinking water quality.
We perform a total of more than 100,000 different tests here at KUB's Water Quality Laboratory in order to ensure the safety and the health of our drinking water, and also the water quality in our streams and area waterways.
There's fairly stringent requirements. Drink your tap water. It's good water here.
Drinking water is very safe, and as long as it meets the treatment and the drinking water standards, it's a great choice. Tap water is a great choice.
We can treat our water, and we have award-winning tap water around here.
It often exceeds standards that bottled water does, and it's definitely a bargain. It's less than a cent a gallon, so it's a great healthy choice and a good economic choice.
A supply that comes directly to your house, you just turn on the tap and there it is.
There are a lot of simple things that people can do to keep water clean. Part of that is to keep pollutants on site, reduce fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, those kinds of things. Something as simple as washing your car in the yard and not in the driveway where detergents and things drain off into the storm drains.
It deserves to be taken care of, and I've met more and more people who recognize that this is a beautiful place and it deserves protection.
Hello, I'm Melinda Kiefer, and I'm your host for Live Green Tennessee, where we bring you great stories from across our state. Today we're at the Upper Cumberland Home and Garden Show with the Waters Farm CSA. We're going to cook some great things. Stick around, we got more to come. First of all, I made carrot soup with Napoli carrots. Now, I did do this beforehand. We'll sample this in just a few minutes, and we'll talk about that as we go forward. What I want to prepare for you today is a sauteed cabbage. We're real familiar with slaw, and we're very familiar with boiled cabbage, but you can only do it so many ways. So today we're going to saute it, but I want to explain to you a little bit about how winter produce can work. If you'll notice, the cabbage is a little pale. This is what you call storage cabbage. And if any of your families grew gardens and wanted to hold some of their produce over, then they created what they call storage cabbage. So this cabbage has been, it was picked in early January. Then it was placed in crates, wooden crates, and hay was placed on top of it, stem side up. And then the cabbage is stored. It tastes exactly the same, but the pale color is because it hasn't been out in the sun. So if you take those crates, set them back out in the sun, the chlorophyll just green that cabbage right back up. But this is a real simple, easy, quick recipe that you can use with some of your winter produce as we go forward. You can put a variety of items in here. Today, I'm going to use a little olive oil, because we like olive oil a little better than the other. And here's the trick for me. Sesame oil. Very strong flavor, very sesame flavored. So it doesn't take very much, but mix it with your olive oil. And then we're going to top it with sesame seeds when we serve. You always can roast these too, which add another factor of nutty flavor. I'm going to go on and put my garlic in. And get our heat up just a little bit. We're going to get our skillet pretty hot, because what you want to do is get a good sizzle on this. Let your garlic get kind of soft as we go forward. Live Green Tennessee is a program that tries to connect the consumers with the producers. I think we're all enjoying the trend of getting back to a more healthy food and also supporting our local economy. What I have in front of you here today are a variety of greens that came in my basket yesterday, most of which you may or may not heard of. And I encourage you to come up afterwards and to sample these. We have a tot soy, which is in the Brussels sprout and broccoli family. We also have a piezo mustard green. Now that piezo mustard green, if you like horseradish, you need to take a little piece of that, get a taste of it, and then chop that up in your winter salad. Gives you an extra little bite, something different. I think we're all very guilty of just going and getting that iceberg, chopping that wedge and going from there. So I encourage you to explore with your greens. Lots of times you won't see these necessarily in the grocery, so that's the beauty of working with your local farmer. That garlic smells wonderful. You also could put pine nuts in here, all kinds of different things. If there's other vegetables, shred some carrots and put it in there. It's quick and easy, and if you're fixing a steak or a big old chicken breast, it's a very, very healthy, very, very low calorie side dish for you. And on a weeknight, when you want to get dinner done quick, this is the way to go. And then we're going to talk about this carrot soup. Okay. I want to encourage you to try the carrot soup. This recipe is so simple. Garlic, onion, little olive oil. Let that get good and soft and sweat it really well. Then you chop up your carrots, slice them and 1 potato, obviously to give it a little thickening. And then it's 6 cups of chicken stock or vegetable stock. Now I tend to like vegetable stock more because it's a little more intense. It's got a little more flavor to it than like a chicken stock might. So that's what I used in this recipe. Little bit of ginger. Now ginger's one of those things you either love or you hate. And unfortunately, your exposure to ginger has been at a commercial restaurant. And you can taste it intensely. Do fresh ginger. Whatever you do, give fresh ginger a try. All right, we're gonna stir this soup just a little bit more. After your vegetables get nice and tender, you know, there are all kinds of kitchen gadgets that you see for sale. Some of them are worth it. Some of them just take up space in your kitchen. I highly recommend getting yourself an immersion blender. I use it so many times. Of course, obviously to puree this soup, but with your eggs, when you do scrambled eggs, anything that you need to whip that you might use a whisk or a hand beater for, this thing will do. It's a wonderful tool to have in the kitchen. Also, Nate brought some really early little small scallions, onions, and so we're going to top our soup with that today as well. This is Greek yogurt with a little honey and fresh thyme. Also, just cut a little hole in the bottom of this bag just to squeeze a little bit of that in there. So that's another quick, easy tip. You don't have to dirty up another dish. I have found that, and then we're going to put some little scallions on here for you too. I have found fresh herbs are the way to go. If you don't grow your own, you can buy them fresh in the store or at your farmer's market. I encourage all of you to do that. Again, the flavors are just so much more intense, and it gives all of your dishes just an extra little punch. We appreciate all of you coming to the Upper Cumberland Home and Garden Show. We hope you'll join us on the next segment of Live Green Tennessee. Keep watching, keep eating healthy, and keep supporting your local economy. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Live Green Tennessee, where we take you all across the state into the farms and businesses of those who are making the move to eating fresh, living sustainably, and helping us all be more organic in our thinking and the way we live our lives as Tennesseans. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Live Green Tennessee.
If you would like more information about Live Green Tennessee, please visit our website at livegreentv.org, where you can find everything from healthy recipes to past episodes and more. This program is brought to you in part by...
Behind every Pick Tennessee Products logo is a Tennessee farmer who brings you fresh, local food grown with the kind of pride that gets handed down through generations. From now through fall, you can find Tennessee fruits and vegetables on farms and at farmers markets near you. Find your Tennessee farmers at picktnproducts.org.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the new Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcast in Tennessee.
The Tennessee Channel, Saturdays 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern and Sundays 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on your public television station.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture, providing leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, and related issues based on sound public policy and efficient management.